What will work to ease some of the traffic congestion around the Rose City and beyond into Vancouver, across the river? Because Portland forecast to add 250,000 new residents over the next 20 years.
Well, I hope none of those people drive.
I don't think our roads can take it, right?
So should we ditch our cars is the question.
I thought the question was, should we go to a 3-day work week?
Yes, that could solve problems.
I agree with that as well. So, yeah, on that note, if you want to ditch your car, especially as we head to the warmer months, maybe you want to lay off the vehicle for the summer, get out and walk and bike. We brought in John Brady with the Portland Bureau of Transportation. John, now let's talk about the city's effort to kind of minimize traffic congestion a bit.
Right. So you're right about the problem, or the challenge is we're adding hundreds of thousands of residents, hundreds of thousands of jobs, and we just don't have the space for new roads. And so we have to find alternatives to the single passenger vehicle. And so we do that in two ways. One, we want to make it encourage people to use other means, so biking, walking, and then we want to make it as safe as possible for them to do that. So we want to build that infrastructure, and then we also want to give them incentives and encourage them to do that.
Because everybody likes to blame you guys. When are you guys going to do something about it?
Yeah, John.
But this is an ongoing effort. And you have something called a Smart Trips website. Break that down for us.
Right, that's actually a great program, and it's really delivered results. So if you move in Portland, or if you move to Portland, we contact you and provide you with a host of information and incentives about how to get around town without having to rely on your car.
The welcome wagon of transportation?
That's a great, we're going to use that, I'm sorry, for sure. So yeah, and so we've seen actually from those folks who have participated in the Smart Trips program, we've seen a 7% drop, for example, in last year of people who didn't rely on their car anymore. And that's not just to go to work, but that's for everything. So there are less people in their cars, less people on the roads, and that's really where we want to get.
There's some alternatives as far as getting your kids to school as well, because we do think about the commuters going to work as the crux of the problem, but how about some school-related issues?
Right, so we have Safe Routes to School. That's one of our most popular and also most effective programs. And that, again, takes this two-prong approach. On the one hand, we use it to fund things like better crosswalks, and then we also do education for the kids to, young kids need to learn how to walk safely. So what do you do when you come to a crossing? How do you bike to school safely? We've done that in grade schools, and now we're going to be expanding that to middle schools and to high school.
And the percentage of people biking, you guys have really noticed an increase over the last few years.
Right, that's a great point. So the bad news is we're getting more people. The good news is that we've actually been able to make progress because of these investments that we've made, because of the encouragement that we've done. We've seen a percentage rise, a fairly significant percentage rise in the number of people who are biking, and a percentage fall in the number of people who are just taking cars.
So we just showed pictures of the new bike program, which is new in the last year or so, where people can share the bike basically?
Bike Town. Yes, exactly.
And those numbers continuing to climb. Has the city been happy with that?
The city's been very happy with it. In fact, I used Bike Town to come up here to the studio.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Nice.
There's a nice bike town, and then there's a nice bike lane on Jefferson, just zipped up here. Didn't get
wow, a man that stands behind his words.
Yeah, that's just one of the alternatives. So look at some other alternatives to driving. If maybe it is the Bike Town, and that membership you can do on a monthly basis?
Yeah, you can do it on a monthly basis. You can do it on a per ride basis, exactly, and it's very easy.
I believe $90 a month, is that it? No,
$12 a month.
$12 a month for 90 minutes a day, which is a really good bargain. Other reasons really to ditch the car. AAA says people spend an average of $713 a month to own and operate a car.
I believe that.
The gas, the insurance.
Yeah.
And so Uber, Lyft, those services have really come on.
Those services have come on, exactly. That's another option that for people. So yeah, and I think that's another sort of goal of ours, is to give people as many options as possible, so that they don't always have to rely on the single passenger auto.
Some communities don't have that Uber Lyft option, I learned. There was a guy that drove me one day in the Uber car. He said he drove all the way up from Eugene just to be a part of this program here in Portland. Sorry, I know I went off topic there, Kathy.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
I think we put together actually a cost breakdown to kind of give our viewers a better idea of what different types of transportation cost you. So take a look here. As Kathy mentioned, now this is the average that it might cost a car owner. That includes, oil changes, gas, repairs, all of that sort of thing. So $700-ish a month to run a car. Now for a TriMet membership, it's about $100 a month. And that, of course, Max streetcar bus, because it does get you access to the streetcar with that.
And we learned, Ashley, that some companies, including our own here at KGW, will reimburse their employees for that $100 max membership. So check with your boss where you work.
John, how key are these employee benefit programs to making this all work?
I think that's really important. Again, we want to encourage people. We want to make it easy, convenient, and safe for people to use transit. So on our end, on PBOT, we're not responsible for the buses or the MAX. We oversee the streetcar and we oversee the tram. But what we do on our end is to make it easy and safe for folks to get to transit. So out in East Portland on 122nd, we're doing a lot of crossing improvements and sidewalks to make it safer to get to transit. And because of that, TriMet is going to offer more frequent service on that very important corridor.
All right, good to know. John Brady, thanks so much for coming in today. And you gave us a key piece of information as we were sitting here, and that is the landslide on Burnside. That is set to open on Friday.
That's right. We're currently scheduled to open that Friday afternoon. This week we're going to completely repair the road. There were a couple of sinkholes. There was some damage from the landslide, and so we're repairing those. And then weather permitting, we always have to...
Don't look at me, John, for crying out loud.
Sorry.
But Friday is the target date because that has been snarly.
Well, you
traffic
said brand new pavement. It's going to be a completely new stretch of road through there.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's great.
All right,
Thank you,
John, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.